Ladies and gentlemen, due to the secretive and monumental scale of this incident, we ask that you respect this planned foray, or some say invasion, of the Slayton Raiders into the village of Currie by keeping your little ones quiet and by your side. There were 14 horse-drawn wagons with 51 armed men descending into the sleepy village of Currie, Minnesota. Sit back and enjoy the reenactment of what it might have looked like 120 years ago in the village of Currie on that fateful morning. It's March 25th, 1887, at about 1:30 in the morning. It's a cool and early brisk spring morning, so quiet you can hear a pin drop.
Hey, Justin. Let's keep bird's eye view on things.
Governor McGill made a proclamation yesterday declaring that Slayton was the new county seat of Murray County. Tensions are running high. There seems to be yelling, congratulating, and pushing matches wherever you go.
It's going around back.
Townsfolk, farmers in nearby villages, citizens are speaking their minds since some were selling their votes for quarts of whiskey and money.
Cover the other entrance over here.
Shopkeeper Neil Currie lays awake in his bed, tossing and turning, going over what he can do to stay the governor's proclamation that Slayton is the new county seat of Murray County. He thought he heard some distant noises out by the courthouse.
Justin, how are we looking up there?
Why would anyone be out at this time of the morning? Old Jim Black is probably drunk again and is trying to find his way back to his farm.
Any windows opening? Try to do this nice and quiet.
Probably nothing, he thinks. Or is it? Outside and down the road, a long line of ambling wagons, wheels, and the creaking of saddle leather can be heard. Farm owner Jim Shirley assumed this trip would be quick, as it is only 10 miles, but it's taking way too long. He knows that he and the other men in his party must remain silent.
Remember, boys, you don't want any shooting here. You don't want to hurt anybody.
They all still don't know what will happen when they arrive. They have been assured by Mr. Terry, the lieutenant of the group, plus Mr. Force, the group's captain, and Mr. Weld that this would be uneventful. Just load up the county records, scare them away with our militia, take the safe, and leave for Slayton. Our town will have a fresh start as the new county seat. Be home before dawn and celebrate over victuals at the Weld farm, right? However, I'm sure all the Slayton Raiders are now thinking, will this really be that simple?
At 1:30 in the morning on March 25th, 1887, following Governor McGill's proclamation, a group of 51 men from Slayton, led by A. Terry and A.W. Force, arrived in Currie armed with axe handles, pitchforks, clubs, firearms, and many other weapons to get the records and bring them to Slayton.
Let's go. Let's start loading it up. There's no light on in there. It'll be vacant. How are we looking up there?
Yeah, it looks like all the wagons are here.
All right. This is much too quiet. You boys see anything?
We're all right over here.
All right. Remember, we got to take it all. Everything that's not nailed down.
Shortly before sunrise, County Treasurer Tarrud arrived at the scene and ordered the men to put his office items back in the courthouse.
Hey, you guys, what are you doing? My office items back in that courthouse.
You want me to shoot him?
They refused.
Hold it, Nels. Hold it right there. Mr. Treasurer, nobody's going to have to get hurt here. We're just taking back what the governor said was ours. Pull your buggy up to the hitching rail over here. Tie it up. Come on, Nels.
Well, make it quick. Hurry up. Let's get him going.
As soon as we get him hooked up here, we'll truss him up so he doesn't wake up the rest of the town.
I'll make sure you tie him up good and tight. Don't make any noise.
Take it easy on him, Earl. He's an old man. Don't want to hurt him. I promised him if he cooperated, we weren't
Probably
gonna
has a
hurt him.
set of lungs on him.
You promised him, I didn't.
Just about got the safe loaded. Safe's on board? Keep them quiet. Let's keep them quiet.
Ready to Jesse down, Captain.
Okay, just get in any wagon. We got to get out of here. This is taking far too long.
By 10 o'clock in the morning, County Auditor Weld had his office set up in the upper story of the Bank of Slayton and was ready for county business.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go. It's time. Keep an eye on things, Justin.
Currie fought back in the courts. Currie teamed up with the citizens of Lac-Qui-Parle County to challenge the constitutionality of the County Seat Act of 1885. On June 25th, 1887, at 9:40 in the morning, Neil Currie received a telegram from the clerk of the Minnesota Supreme Court stating that the County Seat Act of 1885 was unconstitutional and void. Currie citizens believed this to mean that they were once again the legal county seat of Murray County. Some county officials moved their offices back to Currie, while others waited until a court order was issued by the district court ordering them back to Currie. During the ride, the county safe fell out of one of the wagons. Governor McGill also declared that Slayton no longer had any right to the county records. Meanwhile, Slayton did not like the governor's decision, so they appealed to the district court and the Minnesota Supreme Court, but their suit was dismissed. Finally, nearly 1 year and 4 months later, after constant argument, on November 22nd of 1888, the Minnesota Supreme Court rendered a decision stating that the county officials who have been holding their offices in Slayton must remove them to the county building in Currie. This, though, was only a temporary end to the battle. In early 1889, a bill was presented to the Minnesota legislature called the Jacobson County Seat Bill. This bill intended to modify the laws on changing county seats from one town to another. On March 28, 1889, the bill was signed into law. Following the passage of this bill, the citizens of Slayton immediately declared their intent of petitioning for the county seat, and the campaigning started all over again. In order to entice voters to support Slayton, the village of Slayton stated that they would provide $5,000 to the county to build a new courthouse and provide the land for the building if Slayton should win the election. Currie, not wanting to be outdone, teamed up with Murray Township to offer $6,000 and land to build a courthouse. The special election to decide the county seat of Murray County was held on June 11th of 1889. And similar to the last election, votes were openly bought for money and liquor. The votes were tallied and Slayton had 20 votes to spare. Injunctions were immediately sought to prevent county officials from moving back to Slayton, while Neil Currie and Nick Weber appealed to the Minnesota Supreme Court, claiming that some names on the petition for removal were fake. The injunction was later modified and the county officials moved their offices back to the Bank of Slayton. Finally, the battle for the Murray County seat was over when the Supreme Court of Minnesota declared on June 11th of 1890 that Slayton was the new county seat of Murray County.
Find something better.